talk Dr. Isaac Sir, Research Coordinator Dr. Bindu Ma'am, Honorable dignitaries, teachers, mentors, and dear participants. I, Vincy Biju, Research Scholar from Theophilus Training College, welcome you all to another vibrant session of Insight In-Depth Invited Talk Series. Let us begin today's session by seeking the blessings from Almighty God.
നന്മയാകുന്ന കാന്തി കാണുവാൻ കണ്ണിനാകേണമേ നല്ല വാക്കിന്റെ ശീലു ചൊല്ലുവാൻ നാവിനാകേണമേ സ്നേഹമാകുന്ന ഗീതമോ എന്റെ കാതിലിണയാകണേ സത്യമെന്നുള്ള ശീലമോടെന്നെ ശാന്തിയറിയണമേ ആ ഭൂമിയമ്മയെന്നറിയുവാനുള്ള ബോധമുണ്ടാക്കണേ ജീവജാലങ്ങളാകിയും ജന്മബന്ധുവായിടണേ ജാതിഭേദങ്ങളെന്ന ശാപമോ ദൂരെ ലോകമുണ്ടെന്ന പാഠമെന്നുമിൻ മനസ്സിലെഴുതേണമേ ആ
Now, I invite Mrs. Smriti S. Pillai for the welcome address. Smriti ma'am?
Thank you, Vincy. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. A warm good evening to one and all gathered here. I extend my great gratitude and welcome to the 74th Insight In-Depth Invited Talk Series presented by Research Wing Theophilus Training College. With grateful heart, I would like to welcome our principal, Dr. K.V. Benedict sir, who is always with us to support and guide in all our academic exercises. With thankful heart, I welcome you, sir, to this program. Next, I would like to welcome today's resource person, Dr. Isaac sir, Assistant Professor, Government Training College, Thaikad, Thiruvananthapuram. He's a man of systematic way of presentation, and definitely this evening will be an enriching section because of his systematic words and the topic generating learning outcomes, approaches, and pedagogic practice. I'm personally also thankful to him because he's the person guided me towards Theophilus Training College in the first journey of searching my guide. I'm thankful to you, sir. And also on behalf of everyone present here, I extend a warm welcome to our resource person to this program. Next, I would like to welcome our research coordinator, Dr. Bindu Ma'am, to this program. She is always with us for supporting in all our programs. I welcome you, ma'am. Next, I would extend my welcome to everyone gathered here, all other dignitaries, teachers, guides, principals, and all our well-wishers, research scholars, MAD and BEd students to this program. Once again, I welcome each and everyone gathered here to this evening to be a meaningful program. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Smriti ma'am. Dear participants, today we have Dr. Isaac Sir as our resource person for the 74th Invited Talk Series. Sir will be discussing on the topic generating learning outcomes, approaches, and pedagogical practices. Before we start our session, let us know more about our resource person from Mrs. Sindhu Sara. Sindhu ma'am?
Yes, Mrs. Vincy, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank
Go
you.
on, please.
Let us welcome Dr. Isaac Paul, Assistant Professor, Government College of Teacher Education, Thaikad, to our program. Sir, thank you very much for joining us. You, sir, has at this such a young age, he has accomplished so much, and he has been the guiding light for many research scholars, MAd and PGDHE students. His research projects include developing intervention programs for special needs students, developing strategies for making adolescents aware of drug addiction consequences, which is very important these days. These are a few of his research projects. He has also he has many books to his credit, which include the methodology of teaching and pedagogical content knowledge analysis of commerce education, e-content development for teacher education, which is also very much needed for teachers, and teacher pedagogy and knowledge management. He has so many publications to his credit. He has chaptered many. He has had chapters in various edited books, and he is an accomplished speaker. Sir, thank you very much for joining us today, and we are sure we'll be very much enriched by your talk. Thank you once again, sir, for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sindhu ma'am. Dear participants, we are about to start the session. Kindly cooperate with us and follow the instructions. Kindly mute your microphone and please do not share your screen for an uninterrupted session. Kindly pin your resource person to view his presentation. If you have any query during the presentation, please type them into the chat box. We'll bring them during or after the presentation. Link for e-certification will be provided only after the discussion gets over. Kindly fill and share your thoughts and experience to help us to improve. Dear participants, you can also see the recorded video of today's session on our official YouTube channel called MTTC Nalanchira. Now, I request Dr. Isaac Paul sir to share his thoughts with us. Sir?
Yes, uh, most respected Principal Benedict sir, the senior faculty member of Martha Ovlos Training College, and my friend Dr. GB Givergis, other faculty of Martha Ovlos Training College, research scholars, my so many friends, including my colleague Dr. K. J. Krishna, and then Hena ma'am. So many other friends from teacher education colleges attended this online webinar. A very good morning, good evening to all. Today I am very much happy to the its online platform. First of all, I take this opportunity to give my special um, thanks to the organizing team of Martha Plus Training College, especially the Insight in the program. Actually, this is a true platform for coming and young researchers for molding their research aptitude, research skills, research competency, and everything. In last, I think over the last 70 to 70, 75 online webinar series, a lot of topics, innovative topics already covered, including research, then teaching methodology, pedagogical practices, etc. Actually, anyway, I also attended so many in-depth webinar series. This is a good learning platform. I appreciate the research wing of Martha Phillips Training College for their this kind of venture. This is a true model research platform for molding the coming generations research scholars. See, I am directly entering into my duty. My topic for the presentation is, say, wait 1 minute. Is it visible?
Yes, sir. It is
Yes,
Yes,
visible.
sir.
Yes.
thank you, thank you. The topic is generating learning outcomes, approaches, and practices. Learning outcomes. Today we are going to discuss with the topic learning outcome or outcome-based education. Why this topic is very much important? See, education, we commonly call it as the educational process. The main intention of education is to make the students skilled conceptually, ethically, and professionally to achieve their goals in life. Actually, we put into practice so many activities in the for achieving the objectives of education. So many pedagogical practices, so many methodological approaches, so many aspects. our main intention is to develop certain quantitative output, to generate certain quantitative output. But the education as a process mainly focus for assessing, attaining the process plus product. Today, especially the higher education system, has been relying on the quantitative dimension of student output in addition to that qualitative output. The present or the current education system mainly focus for quantitative dimension of student output measured at the end of a particular program or a course in terms of mark or score or grade to the conduct of examination, which reflect the knowledge as limited. It mainly focus for only the knowledge dimensions only. But in the coming system of education, the global or the worldwide, we can see the education system mainly focus for education as a process. True sense, it is a process. How the present system, if we have to set certain objectives. Based on the objectives, we have to set the learning task. At the end of that particular process, how far the particular students achieve the learning objectives, that that itself in the prevailing practices. At the end, we have to give certain mark sheet or scores or grade. Does not completely represent the actual behavior of a particular student. But the UGC, the University Grant Commission, in this context, mainly focus for to develop a quality mandate, that is QM. It has been initiated the mission for improving the quality of higher education in India through its quality mandate brought into force in during 2018. But actually, not much focus for the present system of education, especially higher education institution, to achieve the quality mandate. But the new education policy mainly strict on the four important dimensions, that is knowledge, skills, values, and attitude. If a particular student, whether he is an engineering student, there is a teacher education student, there's a whether he is a medical student, any professional qualification or higher education system, any student has to focus for or equip or assimilate knowledge, skills, values, and attitudes in the concerned discipline. Therefore, quality mandate recommends the try for developing learning outcome-based curriculum framework, that is LOCF, under the international standard. See, the UGC quality mandate mainly focus for the international standards of outcome-based education program. Why this new practice is essential? See, one the most important is that accountability towards learner, that is knowledge sharing, that is this is a contractual learning. Education is a contractual agreement, that is fulfilling the requirements of the curriculum. We have to suppose a teacher or a teacher educates or everyone in the first page itself shows certain objectives, curriculum vision, missions, goals, everything itself. So there are certain specifications are there at the end of that through this curriculum, these components are to be transacted in the systematic manner. It is so our responsibility or our accountability towards the student is that we have to fulfill the curricular requirements. So in this context, every student has certain responsibilities also. Another thing is that every student, we have to satisfy the demands of the learner. So satisfying the need of the industry. So we have to develop a new human resources, a vibrant resources for developing their own potentials, thereby generating employment. And the thing is that program are at par with international standards. See, if our B.Ed program is related with international standard, how do we think that how much our degree or our student or each learner is competent in par with international standards and as demanded by the fast changing environment? Another one is maintaining academic standards. So many programs are there, so many courses are there. See, certain unaccredited programs are there. See, accreditation in terms of international parameters. So another one is accountable to grant providing institutions. Here, outcome-based education mainly focus for accrediting each student. Each student in a particular classroom, there are 10 students are there. At the end of a particular course or program, each students are accredited. Suppose a particular A student accredited with the A category, A plus category. This is the concept of outcome-based education. Next one. See, there are certain struggles are there. See, one thing is that student intake qualification is that is entry level qualification is we are satisfying the entry qualification. That is, quantity level is okay, but how much the quality parameters. Another one is staff. Every teachers are equally qualified at the entry level, mastery level in the initial stage. But what about our competency? It is updated one. It is our competency is in par with international competency parameters. Do you think that we have to think? Everyone has the opportunity to develop or self-reflection about through the practices of outcome-based education. Another one is teaching process. We have good theoretical base, but is it transparent or practicable? Another one is assessment. So many quality parameters, quantitative tools and techniques are available, but our tool is satisfied for outcome based or evidence based. See, another one is courses are updated or relevant, facilities are sufficient or updated. These are our struggles, our constraints experienced by most of the institutions, teachers, etc. See, this is here, that is outcome based education is a student centric teaching and learning methodology in which the course delivery, assessment are planned to achieve stated objectives and outcome. Here, four important aspects, that is our knowledge dimension, value aspects, our perspectives or behavior aspects. These are the four dimensions we are sticking to force in the outcome-based educational practices. It focuses on measuring student performance. That students' performance that can be assessed in different levels. It can be discussed in later. This is a common definition. Tecker in 2004. This is a commonly accepted international definition. That is, it is a process that involves the restructuring of curriculum, assessment, and reporting practices in education to reflect the achievement of higher order learning and mastery rather than the accumulation of course credit. So now the present practices is that there are so many courses are there, credit and semester systems are there. Our main intention, that is 96 credit, 2 credit, 4 credited courses are there, but that is not our concern. Our main intention is to how far the students are achieving higher order learning and how are their mastery level. Here, these are the major issues addressed by outcome-based education. That is what you want the student to have or able to do. What do you want the student to have or able to do? How can you best help the students to achieve? That is, first of all, I already told that is a student-centric practices. How will you know what they have achieved? Who are our stakeholders? What services do we provide? Do communities understand our objectives? See, it's a community-centered approach that our community should know the relationship between a student, a teacher, and this institution, their output, their process, their transaction, their methodologies, etc. It is a joint venture, joint effort of the community, our education system, etc. What services, facilities, and policies must be present? How do we measure our result? Are we achieving our objectives and improving? Say, the next thinking question is that why OBE for BEd students or teacher education system? Learning an outcome as the basis of designing a teacher education system has to respond to the following questions. We mainly focus for the outcome, curriculum, pedagogy, assessment, and quality. These are the major dimensions involved in a BEd program or teacher education program. We have to develop a curriculum. See, first of all, the outcome. What would the teacher trainee be able to do on completion of the teacher education program? See, in our present existing curriculum of BEd program, we mainly focus for developing teaching skills, but there's no provision in our mark list for separate in a particular teaching skill, the students have this kind of score, this kind of scores, that kind of evidence or that kind of evaluation not possible. Only theoretical aspects, mainly focus for theoretical aspects. The second point is what should a student trainee need to learn? We mainly focus for us as the knowledge dimension only. Some kind of skill aspects only, not considered for attitudes and values, but the international parameters for at any program, whether in the degree program or graduate or undergraduate, postgraduate or professional program, mainly focus for assessing four important dimensions, that is knowledge, skill, attitudes, and values. Next one, what activities will facilitate achieving the learning outcome? That is our pedagogical practice. How will the student trainee demonstrate the learning? Assessment, demonstrate the learning. That is in, we have to put into if we have the opportunity for practice outcome based education, mainly focus for student demonstration, student professionalism, students skill presentation, etc. How will how would one judge whether student trainee has done well? That is, there are certain quality criteria. We are mainly focused there. We have to do certain thing, but that is not satisfied. That is not satisfactory. We do more than lot of. Thereby, we have to develop a true professional teacher students. That another thing is that very important. So, see, open this one. In this context, UGC recommend there are 10 core skills, 10 core aspects, mainly for teacher education based on outcome-based education, UGC program outcome. See, most of the teachers or teacher educators are not really not have such kind of concerns. See, these 10 points is very much important and should know every teacher educators. Every teacher education should know. These are our trans. So many subjects we already learned. That is pedagogy, methodology, philosophy, sociology, psychology, ICT, environment science. So many elective subjects are there. But our final aim is this end product is related with these 10 ideas. That is first one, demonstrate core values. That is commitment to the profession or job requirements. Teachers or research scholars think that is there any provision for evaluating or assess or give a quality parameter, quality value for our commitment to the profession or job requirements in the mark list? Not. Okay. Even till now, no such aspects to be considered in at the end of the product, commitment to the teaching profession or honoring diversity and ensuring inclusion. This for example, honoring diversity and ensuring inclusion include four aspects, that is knowledge aspects. See, knowledge aspects alone we have to consider, but where skill aspects is necessary, then attitude aspects is needed, then behavior aspect. The four aspects is essential. Then second one is that core competencies such as communication skill. It is essential for an evaluating or grading a student based on their communication skills. Working effectively with these students and their parents. Drive for achieving improved student learning outcome. That's second important aspect. The third important aspect is that demonstrate professional or technical knowledge to the physical, social, and intellectual development and characteristics of students. These aspects are to be considered while put into practice in an outcome-based or outcome-based education system. Fourth one is that demonstrate knowledge and understanding of strategies, knowledge and understanding of strategies for differentiating teaching to meet the specific learning needs of the student. Not for a specific or existing category students, for an inclusive learning environment experiences also considered at the end of a particular student should master or experiences over teacher education program in inclusive learning setup is also considered. Demonstrate knowledge required to design learning sequences and lesson. That is the next. The sixth aspect is that demonstrate professional competencies or practices that is required to select and use relevant teaching strategies to develop knowledge, skills, problem solving, critical and creative thinking. How many thinking questions we have to, if a particular student give opportunity for answering? Problem solving questions is in our B.Ed program. Critical thinking questions, creative thinking questions. Only the first part, that is knowledge, comprehension, or knowledge, remembering, understanding, applying questions, all alone considered in the B.Ed program question paper. Okay. Select or create the use of a range of resources, that is including ICT, e-content development, knowledge management practices, etc. Demonstrate professional competencies or practices that is required to manage classroom activity, classroom management. It is very much important aspects. Demonstrate professional competencies, practices to develop, select and use informal and non-formal, diagnostic, formative and summative assessment strategy. So here, we have to mainly focus for quantitative as well as qualitative assessment tools. So many important, very much due emphasis to be given for qualitative assessment, qualitative aspects. So it is the responsibility of the teacher educator to provide opportunity for our students to develop such kind of skills and competencies. Next one, demonstrate competencies actions required for keeping oneself professionally engaged. Professionally engaged. Underline that sentence and participate in learning to update knowledge and practice. These are the major concerns about UGS. That is 10 core important focal points. Next one, in order to learn a particular teacher, that is the outcome based, the four important aspects. That is outcome based education. That is what the student should be able to do. Second one is outcome based curriculum or BC. That is how to make the student achieve the outcome. Third important point is that outcome based learning and teaching. That is how to measure what the student has achieved. Last one, outcome based assessment or BA. These four important points. Here, okay. Our main that today's presentation is that is related to learning outcomes. What is learning outcomes? Simply sentence, it is not related with learning objectives. There are certain differences are there, slight differences are there. Learning outcome, that is outcome based education, is it is learning outcome centric. Learning outcome clearly shows that what the student is going to achieve at the end of the course. They are statements. Simply saying, it is a statement. The statement is certain important components are there. It is a relationship between certain components. It was discussed in the letter. That is, there are statements of what the learner is expected to know after completion of a process of learning outcome. Here, it simply state that it's a statement. The statement has certain meaning. The certain included certain components. That way, we have to frame learning outcome. It is only like a navigation tool, like a GPS, Polestars, etc. Once the destination is fed to GPS, the device guides the driver throughout the journey and takes the driver to the mentioned destination correctly. That is the important of setting a learning out. Only the same as a GPS, guiding force. Similarly, learning outcomes are guiding tools which guides the students to the desired result. Here, another thing is that the learning outcome, they also show and help the teachers the path to be followed and make the students aware what they will be able to achieve at the end of the course. See, there is a learning outcome we have to set at the beginning stage that everyone should know this is our learning outcome. At the end of the students should be evaluated how to achieve, what are the struggles, that's the quality, see what they will be able to achieve the end of the course. Learning outcome need to be specific, very specific, and it is easy to measurable. So curriculum designs, learning materials, and learning designs are important by predetermined learning outcome. These are designed to ensure achievement of learning outcomes. And here, see, here learning outcome based curriculum framework LOCF, another important term, LOCF. It is based on specific learning outcomes and academic standards expected to be attained by graduates of a program of study. An outcome-based approach identifies ways to move from the emphasis on what is to be taught to focus on what is actually learned by way of demonstrable outcome. See, we have to express our outcome. We have to show our outcome, showcasing our outcome. This is my outcome. This is my expected outcome. This is my our end product. See, is there any difference? It's a quality one. It is easy to compare each one. Compare one product with another one. This is the very peculiarity and the significance of learning outcomes. This approach provides greater flexibility to the teachers to develop and the students to accept and adopt different learning and teaching pedagogy in an interactive and participatory ecosystem. See, I have a teacher educator. Before starting my profession or before entering the classroom situation, I have set certain learning outcome. See, every student, it is my responsibility to conscientize all students. This is our outcome. We have to try together. Oh, it's a participatory way. We have to work together. At the end of during the session or at the end of the session, the students showcasing their product. This is my product. This is your product. So there are certain quality benchmarking is necessary. So there are certain outcome based, certain quality assessment tool is necessary. That tool is an evidence through which we have to evaluate. Self-evaluation is possible, peer evaluation is possible, teacher evaluation is possible. It is easy to consultate our parents also. This is your product, student's product. This is the quality. This is their drawback. This just need improvement. This is the true aspects involved in learning outcome-based educational practices. The idea is to generate, integrate social needs and teaching practice in a manner that is responsive to the need of the community. So here, sorry. Oh, right. Domains of learning outcome. So Benjamin S. Bloom, here learning outcome that can be coupled with Bloom's revised taxonomy. We already know the taxonomy of educational objective, that is cognitive, affective, and psychomotor domain. That is, domain simply means all our instructions that can be originated from our human mind. Human mind has three different faculties, that is cognitive, affective, and psychomotor domain. Cognitive is related with intellectual, affective, that is emotional aspects, the psychomotor, that is skill domain. Okay, right? So here, this is here in new translate, that is Bloom's revised taxonomy. Two important aspects, two dimensions are there. That is cognitive process. The old revision, that is only the cognitive dimensions only. That is remembering, knowledge, understanding, application, analysis, synthesis. This is the old version, but it's a revised taxonomy. That is another one. Is that is the knowledge processing dimension. That is factual knowledge leads to conceptual knowledge. Conceptual knowledge leads to procedure knowledge. That end, that is metacognitive knowledge. Thinking to think, learning to learn. That aspect. See how many teachers we practice our students leads metacognitive level. That is factual knowledge hyphen leads to conceptual. Conceptual leads procedural, procedure leads metacognition. That is, these aspects is essential for an outcome-based learning practices. Right, that is the cognitive, then affective. So we have to think of the four important aspects, that is knowledge, skill, that is knowledge related to the cognitive knowledge domain, cognitive domain, that is cognitive process, knowledge, that is knowledge dimension, cognitive process dimension. Affective, that is behavior aspects. Third one, skill aspects. Affective, two important aspects, values and attitudes. Last one, psychomotor, that is leads to skill. Any program, whether it is a professional program or a graduate or postgraduate program, the outcome-based education mainly focus four aspects. Okay, we always remember to these points. Then comes to Bloom's revised taxonomy. I think already all of them are familiar with. I just tell about the revised taxonomy. It was in 2001, developed by Lauren Anderson. That is he is the former student of Benjamin S. Bloom and David Krathwohl. Here, revised to be more powerful and relevant tool to today's teaching. That is changes categories. That is change noun to verb. Knowledge that change names that can be interchangeable as knowledge as named as. Remember, that is knowledge is only a noun. Remember, that is a process. That is verb. That is the very important aspect. Only the verb noun that can be converted into verbal form. That is process aspects. Process leads to product. That aspect we have to consider. We have to think about this. Here, this every teacher, educator, every researcher should know the process plus product. What is our product? These are, see, look, this metrics, two dimensions, knowledge dimension, that is cognitive process dimension. Knowledge dimension, that is factual, conceptual, procedural, and metacognitive knowledge. See, the right side, that is the remembering. Cognitive process dimension includes remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. So, if that's a factual knowledge related with this, if a question related or our learning outcomes start with summarize the Bloom's taxonomy, revised Bloom's taxonomy, related with the learning outcome based on a factual knowledge, understanding, cognitive process. For example, explaining, that is explaining related with the conceptual knowledge domain with the cognitive analyzing, that is the cognitive process dimension. Predicting, that is higher level. Predicting, start with the predicting. So in the think that the present, അതായത് outcome based education have to set a question not directly related what type of question, what is meant by, what is the difference between that type of questions. Don't consider everything has every question has certain value, every question certain objective, certain output or product. For example, classify. So students should classify, that is our product. Explain, at the end of that particular, that our product is explaining a particular point with key evidence. Construct, students should construct with a product. Action, there is an action plan is needed. Then compose, you have to construct something. Plan, prepare a plan of action. Combining certain things to be combined, that is the product. So you got that point. I think you got that point. That is simply what is meant by, what is the difference, how will you, okay, that type of questions not considered in an outcome based education. So researcher should know, if you have prepare a question or a tool, this type of questions to be considered, classified. Okay, there's a process, that process related with the product. Okay, another thing, simply another example, that is actions plus product. Recognizing corresponding quiz, we have to conduct a quiz. The quiz is a product, the result of the quiz is a product, that is an evidence, we have to showcase it. Listing, for example, for this purpose we have to give a definition. Describing, that's a fact to be presented with a certain evidence. Identify, this simple examples. Another thing is understanding level. So many, I am a teacher, I classifying, students give certain example, classification table or something. Inferring, explaining, list out. So these are the understanding aspects. Okay. Another one is analyzing, comparing, how to compare. For that purpose, different type of activities we have to provide. So it is the responsibility of it is the flexibility of the teacher. So many ways we have to evaluate, we have to finalize, we have to fix the product. See, organizing, organizing a database, structuring. We have to motivate students to prepare a graph. That graph is a structuring element through which we have to evaluate. That is the product. That product to evaluate the quality of that quality parameters of the student. Okay, integrating. So this is analyzing, evaluating. That is creating, design. Creating is higher level objectives. It is not easy to attaining students in the mass that particular level. So many processes there. It's a single class alone is not possible to achieve students in a creating level. It is designing, constructing, planning, producing, inventing, devising, making, etc. So it is a I think outcome-based education is a joyful experience. So many ways. A constructive teacher only can develop a constructive learner. A creative teacher only can develop a creative teacher. See, I am a creative mind, constructive mind. Only I have to develop such kind of activities, such kind of pedagogical practices, methodological approaches, etc. Through which I have to create different kind of innovative, creative product, making students. So our intention is to make different kind of products through our students based on certain learning outcomes. So each student, each teacher should consciously fixing, selecting good learning outcome, then provide opportunities, practicing, experimenting, exercises, etc. Then we have to generate so many good quality product. Another thing is that it is the responsibility of teachers to generate, develop the different kind of qualitative and quantitative tools to evaluate the quality of the product developed by our learners. Okay. It is also related with the thinking skills. You know that two types of questions, that is lower order thinking to higher order thinking. Every time if we have set a question setting, achievement task or situational task or learning task, we have to frame questions based on lower order thinking skills to higher order thinking skills, LOT to HOT questions. Okay. Lower order thinking is remembering, understanding, applying, that's lower order. Analysis, synthesis, and evaluation as higher order thinking skills. See, I already told there are several learning outcomes, levels of learning outcome. Three important levels are there. First one, program outcome, POs. Second one is program specific outcomes. Third one, course outcome. In the actual classroom situation, we mainly writing course outcome, COs. In the program outcome or statement that describes what the student graduating from general program should be able to do. For example, if a BEd program, there's a BEd program outcomes are there. In a MBEd course, there is a MBEd programs are there. That is 10 MBEd. I already, UGC is fixing certain program outcomes are there. So likewise, in the Kerala University BEd curriculum itself have certain program outcomes. Okay, their statements are there. Second one is program specific outcome. That is, we have to clearly elaborating out each program, which are statements that describe what the student graduates of a specific program should be able to do. What is our responsibility? What kind of activities? What can we do? What students should be able to do? What teachers can do achieving that program outcome? That is program that can be break into very specific, very narrow, systematic way. Another one is course outcome. That is, it is a statement that describes what the student should be able to do at the end of the course. These are the very important points: program outcome, program specific outcome, and course outcome. Okay. Program outcome, that is, it shall be designed by the university or institution. If an autonomous university has the freedom to develop program outcome, or in the university, our University of Kerala has the responsibility to select fixing the program outcome. Program POs represents the knowledge, skills, attitudes, and values that all students are required to attain at the time of graduation from any program. Four important program. One, I think one is missing, that is value. Programs need to be identified by the university or institute offering general program. See, this program outcome that can be fixed in par with international standards. The Board of Studies or Academic Council that can be developed the program outcome by in comparing with the general nature of the particular program, international nature of that particular course, etc. Okay, that is program outcome. Another called this graduate attributes, GA. Okay. See, if we have to identify, a research scholar find out have a certain topic related curriculum development. First of all, we have to know the program outcome, curriculum designing. This is essential. Program outcome, program specific outcome, course outcome. That is, if we have to look over to that aspect, it is enabled the researcher or teachers or practitioners or to compare the quality of the program, curriculum, course, the transactional modality, etc. So program outcome is very much important. See, this is a commonly program outcome. Critical thinking, very much important. Problem solving, computational thinking, effective communication, social interaction, self-directed and lifelong learning, effective citizenship, ethics, environment and sustainability, global perspective. These are the 11. Any other which is deemed fit to the university. So നമുക്ക് ഇവിടെ ഫിക്സ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. We have the responsibility. Program outcome, a course is the nature, depend upon the nature of the course, the value of the course, credibility of the course, opportunity of the course, the competency level attained by the international level. So our BEd students are international level ചെന്നാലും ഏതെല്ലാം വേണം. So mastery over that particular program. That is very much important. So our intention is to evaluate critical thinking, this core, problem solving ability, this is our this credential. Computational thinking, the student has this level or mastery level. The marks itself shows or showcasing these program outcome results at the end of the program. Another one is that program specific outcome shall be developed by each department of Board of Studies offering the program in a discipline. For example, program outcome generalizes arts, humanities, etc. That is program outcome. Then program specific outcome in art subject, history has separate program specific outcome, geography has specific program outcome, then civics has separate program outcome, etc. Except Board of PSOs of BSc Physics, BA Economics, BCom Finance, the PSOs are outcomes that are specific to a program. They characterize the specificity of the core course of the program. Okay, I think you got that particular point. Then comes the course outcome. This is very much important. See, each research scholar or each teacher educator should know how to write a course outcome. The course outcome represents what the students should be able to do at the end of the course. Here, Write the course outcome of a course. You taught paying attention to all the do's and don'ts, making sure all the items in the checklist are checked out. See, use only one action verb, okay, not two if absolutely necessary. For example, identifies this one and analyzes. Try to avoid only one action verb. See, look this action verb. Where is the action verb? The last slide. I already exhibit the action verbs are there. I think these are the action verb. Action verb: designing, constructing, that is evaluating, defining, analyzing, justifying, categorizing, classifying, comparing, inventing, etc. These are the action verb. Try to combine two action verb at a time. Try to focus on one action verb. Okay. Okay. Do not use the words including like, various, such as, different, etc. with respect to knowledge elements. Okay, try to avoid that aspects. Okay, put into effort to make the course outcome statements are detailed as possible as measurable terms. Measurable terms. Okay, do not make it either too abstract, too specific. Very clear, very genuine, very simple, but elaborate, detailed statements are there. A very particular one. Okay. Another thing is that drafting codes out. Sorry, this is a checklist. For example, does the course outcome begin with an action verb? At the end of, you have to frame a course outcome. You have to checklist. Okay, put tick mark. Okay, good. State, define, explain, calculate, determine, identify, select. Okay, good. Action verb is as good. Second one is the course outcome stated in terms of student performance rather than teacher performance or subject matter to be covered. Only the student performance. Okay, is the course outcome statement stated as learning product rather than terms of learning process, not product. Is the course outcome stated at the end of proper level of generality and relatively independent of other course outcomes. It is independent one, not any duplication. Okay. The simple example, the sample course of Kerala University Sociology, a new outcome-based education course prepared by, I think, University of Kerala. The course outcome, understanding, identify, that is the action verb, the content aspects, the process aspects is that. Okay. Remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, create. Factual knowledge, conceptual knowledge, procedure knowledge, metacognitive knowledge, etc. Okay. I think some kind of workshop is essential for this, developing this kind of program outcome. How to become a graduate. See, see, this is a statistics for commerce. Simply example, that is summarize. This is an action verb plus the process as well. Basic concept of descriptive state, that is content part, right? Process plus content part. Apply, that is the process part, sorry, action verb. This is the content part. The process, this analyze is a process. It's an action verb. Action verb includes the process. Through the process, you have to develop this content aspect. Okay. I think my time is almost over. With the teacher, I will stop within 5 minutes. Okay. Hello.
Yes, sir. Sir.
Okay. I'll
Okay, sir.
complete. Okay, teacher. Okay. I think 7:20. The program outcome, also called graduate attributes. Who can become a good graduate? Courses are broadly classified into core courses, electives, ability enhancement courses, and skill enhancement courses. We have to, in this context, we have to find out the knowledge aspects, then skill aspects, then behavioral aspect, that is affective aspects, and last value oriented aspect. These 4 important aspects to be considered for a good graduate. The POs and PSOs are to be attained through core courses, ability enhancement courses, and activities. The B.Ed program or M.Ed programs are there. We have so many courses. Then the core courses, electives are there, etc. Okay, I think all the teachers, all the participants assembled in this online platform know the different kind of activities, courses in now existing syllabus. curriculum. Courses constitute the important part of any program. Here, this is the OBE framework model. That is vision, mission, graduate attributes, otherwise called core program outcome, that POs, right? Then board of studies the responsibility for defining program outcome, program specific outcome. This is related with the curriculum aspects. And here, the core courses, in order to achieve the program outcome and program specific outcome, we have to split the four aspects, that is core courses, selective courses, foundational abilities, skill enhancement courses, through which we have to attain the course outcome leads graduates. Here, assessment is very much important. That institutional assessment, program assessment, and course assessment is very much essential. That is institutional assessment. Institutional assessment is a practice for evaluating or showcasing the quality of the student's product, evidence based. That's a filtering process of the institution, then leads to program assessment, and then university assessment. That is a course outcome. Here, what is our advantages of learning outcome? Learning outcome benefit teachers find it easy to plan and lesson. But every teacher has certain homework is necessary for developing a good learning outcome practices. So this updation one, every time we have to different kinds of different types of learning outcomes to be set, through which we have to develop different kind of innovative products. Think that every day we have to develop different kind of learning outcome. That is action verbs. Different kind of action verbs are there. Okay, try this. This is make a practice through which we have to develop a competent human being, competent task force, human resources are there. Helps teachers to plan a lesson, getting a clear idea of what and how much to teach and plan accordingly. Learning outcomes helps teachers design their teaching materials more effectively. It helps the teachers to select appropriate strategies, save our time, extra time. Plus, helps teachers to avoid extra time, which ultimately help in saving the time. These are the total overview of a learning outcome-based learning practice. I think you got a clear idea, brief idea about, not clear idea, just a brief idea about learning outcome. I also present a model lesson plan based on outcome-based education. See, Bindu teacher told me to present another simple lesson plan. It was developed by myself, just showcasing through my presentation. Okay. Okay. After that, I will try to complete my presentation. Just a lesson plan based on outcome-based education practices. Okay. Wait 1 minute. Hello.
Hello,
Am I
sir.
audible?
Audible,
Okay.
sir. Audible.
Wait a minute.
Sir, എനിക്കൊരു സജഷൻ കൂടിയുണ്ട്.
Teacher.
ഈ ലെസൺ പ്ലാൻ ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് ഒന്ന് തരണേ വാട്സാപ്പില്. കാരണം ലെസൺ ട്രാൻസ്ക്രിപ്റ്റ് തയ്യാറാക്കുന്ന കുട്ടികൾക്ക് ഇറ്റ് വിൽ ബി വെരി യൂസ്ഫുൾ ഫോർ ദെയർ റിസർച്ച് വർക്ക് ഓൾസോ, ഫോർ പ്രിപ്പയറിംഗ് ദ ലെസൺ ട്രാൻസ്ക്രിപ്റ്റ് ഫോർ എക്സ്പെരിമെന്റൽ സ്റ്റഡി. So I can pass it to our group members. Sir,
Sir, you are not audible, sir.
I
sir,
think I'm mute, sir.
sir, Isaac, sir. Isaac, sir.
ഹലോ,
Sir,
കേൾക്കാമോ?
ഇപ്പൊ
ഇത്
കേൾക്കാം സർ. ആ ലാസ്റ്റ് ഒന്നും audible ആയില്ല.
ലാപ്ടോപ്പ് അങ്ങ് ഹാങ് ആയി, അതാണ് ഒരു പ്രശ്നം
ആ
പറ്റിയേ.
ശരി. ആ ഓക്കെ സർ.
ഓക്കെ, ഞാൻ ലെസൺ പ്ലാൻ ഷെയർ ചെയ്ത് തന്നാൽ മതിയോ? ഇപ്പൊ ഇതിനകത്ത് കാണിക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്നില്ല, ദാറ്റ്സ് ദ
അതെ,
പ്രോബ്ലം.
ലെസൺ പ്ലാൻ ഷെയർ ചെയ്താൽ മതി സർ. ഞങ്ങളുടെ ഗ്രൂപ്പിലുണ്ട്. ഈ
ഞാൻ
ഇൻസൈറ്റ് ഇൻഡെപ്ത് ഗ്രൂപ്പ് ഉണ്ട്, ഇഗ്നേഷ്യ ഉണ്ട്. I think it
ഓക്കെ
will be useful for the research scholars to prepare the lesson transcript for research work.
ഓക്കെ
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. On
ഓക്കെ,
behalf of
താങ്ക് യു.
research wing, I extend my grateful thanks to you, sir.
താങ്ക് യു
So
വെരി
many
മച്ച്.
questions are waiting for you.
ഓക്കെ ഓക്കെ ഓക്കെ.
Sindhu Sara? Sorry, Vinci?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Shall I proceed?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir, for the wonderful, enriching session. Today's topic was very much related and significant to one and all present over here. We have a great responsibility on our shoulders to bring quality learning outcomes, and it has to be ensured. Therefore, I believe that session will be benefiting to many of us. Once again, thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation.
Thank you.
And now we are welcome, sir. Now we are moving to the next session, that is discussion part. Participants are requested to raise their queries and share their thoughts. Yes, you can
Hello,
raise your
sir. Yeah, can I
yes,
can I
yes,
ask a question? Yeah.
sure.
Sir, although this CO, PO, PSO, the mapping, the assessment needs a thorough workshop for that. If there's any workshop, then I'll very grateful to attend this kind of workshop, sir. One thing, sir, regarding the PSO, regarding the PSO, for example, if an institution is offering BSc program, and having a, PSO of botany, zoology, chemistry, offering honors. So there will be three PSO, right, sir?
Yes.
Yeah,
You can.
but if the institution is offering both honors and general, for example, honors in botany, zoology, and chemistry, and general biochem. So how many PSO it will be? Three or four?
No, not in a specific program. Within the not limited one to maximum 5 to 6 PSO. Depend upon the nature of the course, nature of the credit, total hours, transaction hours, etc. That
No,
base.
no, sir. What I mean to say is a program specific outcome means the departments, the program that the institution is teaching. For example, an institution is teaching botany, zoology, and chemistry as honors,
Yeah,
right, sir?
yeah.
And general as biochem. Biochem means the students are taking botany, zoology, and chemistry as general subject. So how many PSO there will be? Three or four, sir?
See, I think this is the responsibility of the concerned university or board of studies. Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. For example, like an institution is like say if an institution is offering botany, zoology, and chemistry, then there will be three PSO, right, sir?
Yes.
Yes, but if the institution
Let
is
me
again
let me
offering,
suggest, Mr.
yeah,
The person who is asking the question may introduce yourself so that the presenter can understand your region and background.
Okay, I'm from Nagaland.
Okay.
Assistant Professor Takaman Walling in Department of Botany.
Hello. So
Hello.
in our terminology, from my limited understanding, a program, for example, in Bachelor of Education is a program,
Yeah.
and every specific subject will be the
Program
particular
specific
course.
outcome. Yeah.
So
So
that
every subject.
every subject must have its own course outcome now.
Yes, sir. Yes, that's the right. See, program outcome, that is science is a stream for program outcome.
Yes.
Chemistry,
Yes.
physics, physics, chemistry, botany, zoology, extra program specific outcomes, right? Right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay, that's the common practice.
Yeah, but what I mean to say is, for example, if an institution is offering botany, zoology, geography, let's say only three subjects, botany, zoology, and geography as honors paper subject, as honors paper, and botany, zoology, and chemistry as general paper. So there will be three PSO or four PSO. Four PSO in a sense, botany, zoology, and geography will be three PSO for honors, and botany, zoology, chemistry that will be for general paper. That so it will count for one PSO, or it is not like that.
No, no, separate PSOs is necessary. Separate PSO for each program. Each botany itself has program specific outcomes needed. Geography also program specific outcomes needed, and also botany also. That is the practice. It is the responsibility of the concerned university or board of studies to prepare or selecting or finalizing the PSOs. Okay, that is the common practice.
That means in botany we have honors as well as general paper, though, sir. Right, sir?
I
So
think,
that
uh, Belik sir, I think that is not the practice in
The,
our system.
the way in which they are composing the curriculum is sometimes may be different from our perspective.
Yeah, yes, sir.
So that we have to see that particular in detail. Otherwise, we cannot generalize as an answer.
okay, okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Mr. Fasil also has raised the hand, expected to have a direct question.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for a very informative presentation. It was really nice, sir. I really enjoyed. This is Fazal Ahmad Faizi, research scholar, Department of Education, University of Kerala. Sir, I've got just one or two questions. I can say one question. Uh, what you explained about starting from LO up to PO. I have a little doubt. My main background and my exact background is English. Uh, could you please, sir, give me an example starting from LO, learning objectives, and just link that to PO, program objectives, considering all the stakeholders? Is it?
See, first of all, we have to finalize the program outcome. Program outcome that can be developed by the concerned university. Okay, that is the program of the total overview. For example, in the Faculty of Science, it has a program outcome. Then the Faculty of Science includes botany, zoology, physics, chemistry, geology, etc., mathematics, etc. That is, these common subjects has a common program outcomes. Then after that, there are certain specifications are there. Then comes under program specific outcome. After that, the Faculty of Science, under the Faculty of Science, botany, chemistry, zoology, then mathematics, physics, etc. Each program, each different disciplines, subjects have separate program specific outcome. Physics program the program outcome of physics is entirely different from program specific outcome of chemistry. That is entirely different from botany, zoology, etc. Then comes to program specific outcome leads to course outcome. For example, in the chemistry subject, there's organic chemistry, then inorganic chemistry, physical chemistry, semester one. In a semester, that is separate course outcomes are there. In the separate course outcome, we have to finalize the specific course outcome. Then comes to semester 1. This four modules are there in this semester 1. In organic chemistry, there's a paper. There's four modules are there. Then we have to write down learning outcome, course outcome, then leads to learning outcome. Learning outcome means each class or each module has separate learning outcomes are there. It is the responsibility of the concerned teacher to, this is the filtering process are there, hierarchical process are there, program outcome, program specific outcome, course outcome, okay, then leads that way, learning outcome, etc. This is the hierarchy we are following.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Mr. Vasi, for the question, as well as Dr. Isaac Paul for the presentation. The statement of the question raised by Vasi has a particular common area in which I thought to have some kind of addendum to the presentation. I think that the students or the general readers or the practitioners doesn't need to confuse themselves with the new terminology of the outcome-based education. Earlier, we were using that instructional objectives or the learning objectives. So now the perspective has changed. We are viewing in terms of the learning outcome. My point of highlight is that when we analyze the original theoretical background that supports the earlier version of the learning outcome theory and the current version of the the learning objective theory and the current version of the learning outcome theory, outcome-based education. See, the focus of attention in the previous one is with respect to the teacher, while in the second case, it is solely with respect to the students, concentrating on the student. In the previous case, a teacher fixes everything for the student to do. That was the viewpoint. But in the current case, it is solely taken from the viewpoint of the student alone, where the teacher's role is something like that of an animator or a facilitator or an environment creator or a kind of an agent which will augment the process of learning by which the desirable achievements could be attained by the learner by means of concentrating on the student's achievement. So nothing to fear about the conversion of terminology, in which I hope that the answers given, so the first point of raised by Fasi may be cleared with this explanation. And also to Isaac Paul sir, this particular new avatar is nothing for the student to get confused. So you have made an elaborate, very organized presentation. I really appreciate it. But at the same time, one element that is missing from the so-called the current theoretical dimension of the outcome-based education is the element of digital learning environment. Very particularly after the COVID situation, we are just fast moving to a kind of flipped mode, even though it is not fully being practiced, but in a very short span of time, that will be the pattern of all the courses from the lower, even from the secondary level to the tertiary level in higher education, etc. That is going to be get practiced. So the current outcome-based education must have a particular component of very significant thinking and modification requirement with respect to the flipped classrooms, the digital learning environment, the sophisticated artificial intelligence, augmented learning, many new elements are being introduced in the classroom practices. How that could be accommodated is a question to be answered. And then very significantly, incidentally, very interestingly, I have to contribute something in the sense that in our own regional kind of this taxonomy that we have developed by Dr. Viji under my guidance has that particular element of this this augmented reality, that particular element is being taken in advance, even before the COVID pandemic. But unfortunately, our system was very reluctant and very adamant that even the element that she wished to practice in her own circumstances has been prevented by the so-called examination board or the so-called university board which visited their evaluation there. That was the pathetic situation, a crisis that we are facing. Even then our own innovations are being brutally rejected. That is the kind of situation that is existing. Okay, thank you, Isaac Paul sir, for being available with the Martha Theophilus Training College research community. Many of the participants have seriously listened to your presentation.
See, this is the lesson plan format. Just prepare a brief lesson plan, outcome-based education program. This is actually the content outline, content analysis. It is already learned. Here, this is a content analysis. This is learning outcome. I think this visible learning. First one, describing. This is an then this is an action verb. That is this action verb related with the conceptual and remembering process. Or is it visible to all the participants? Is it clear? Hello.
Visible, sir.
Visible. Okay. Second, this is I think the topic selected for the lesson plan preparation is consumer protection. It's a higher secondary commerce subject topic +1 +2 topic. The same content codes out, content outline, content analysis, themes, facts. This is the actual procedure we already done. Then comes to the here this process, learning outcome, setting the learning outcome. In my lesson plan, 6 learning outcomes I have selected. That is first one, describing. This is an action verb. This content with that is conceptual. That is the conceptual. That is the conceptual aspects. That is the remembering level. Describing the importance of protecting consumers in very real life context. Second one, predicting the role of consumers protection. Third one, classifying consumer rights. Fourth one, ordering various rights. Assessing unfair trade practices. Sixth one, composing. These are the action verb. See later that is how the action verb that can be become a product. Here after in the classroom prerequisites that the values and attitudes. Develop a positive attitudes, then generate a social value by upholding the spirit of ethical principle. These are the values and attitudes in my classroom situation. How? That is the expected product. First one, there's a worksheet prepared by the students. That is complete the task assigned in the worksheet and write down the consumer rights and legal provisions. Second one, preparing a checklist. Then generating an explanatory note. Prepare an illustration table. Create a brief database. Designing a graphic organizer. Develop a slogan. These are associated with, this is directly related with my learning outcome. See, these learning outcome, that is sixth learn. I suggested 6 learning outcome through the transactional process. After the transactional process, I try to generate 6 learning or 7 learning product. See, look at this learning phases. 2 columns, learning process, assessment based on outcome or product. First one, I have introductory phase. I have given activity, brainstorming and general discussion. This activity leads a product. That is the first product. That is a students develop a worksheet, write a worksheet. That is the product on consumer rights and legal provision. Second one, that is given a group discussion. Here 5 groups are there. Each group develop a product. Simple example. In this is a provide a table. My intention is to develop a product that is a checklist on the basis on checklist on the key points to be specified by the producer on the product to the consumer. Here, after completing this group 2 activity, the students generate a product number 2. Likewise, group 3 generate a product, group 3 develop a product. This my responsibility is to evaluate the quality of the product. Here, these are the different simple activities are there. Like this is a graphic organizers. It is the responsibility of students to prepare the complete the graphic organizer. This is a product. I have the teacher can easily evaluate the completion of this grid or graphic organizer through which how the students present or visualizing their conclusion. These are the simple ways. Likewise, or extend activity, remedial measures needed. These are the simple lesson plan format. Okay, it is the responsibility of the researchers to develop or elaborate or flexibility or freedom to develop creative or innovative new product based on their preset learning outcomes. Okay, thank you.
Once again, thank you, sir, for sharing the model lesson plan for better, clear understanding. Now we are moving to the last segment of the program to express our sincere gratitude to each one present here and making this a wonderful program. I invite Mrs. Sanila Manoj ma'am to deliver vote of thanks. Sanila ma'am.
Thank you, Vincy ma'am. Good evening, everyone. Nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart. First of all, let me thank Almighty for this great opportunity and for the blessing I showered throughout this meeting. Let me thank our principal, Dr. K.V. Bendiksa, who is the strength of our institution and because of whom we are gathered here. Respected sir's insight and leadership are the force which keeps us move forward. Wholehearted thank you, sir, on behalf of everyone present here. Thank you so much, Bendik, sir. Let me express my gratefulness to our today's guest of honor, Dr. Isaac Paul, Assistant Professor, Government Training College, Thaikat, for the excellent and very useful talk on the topic, generating learning outcomes, approaches, and pedagogical practices. The talk was very useful and surely benefited all of us. Sir explained everything in a simple language that everyone can understand and also had a great discussion time. He also shown us lesson plan and how we can achieve that learning outcome. For making our students creative and innovative, we, the teachers, should be creative and innovative. It was very true, sir. Thank you for reminding us once again about creativity and innovation. On behalf of everyone present here, let me express our gratitude to our dear sir, Dr. Isaac Paul, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Let me convey my gratitude to our research coordinator, Dr. Bindu ma'am, for all the support she is providing for us. Thank you so much, ma'am, on behalf of everyone present here. Thank you, Bindu ma'am. Let me express my gratefulness to our dear Dr. Ansi ma'am, Assistant Professor, Matthews Training College, for all the technical support she is providing for our insight in depth from the very first talk. Thank you so much, dear Ansi ma'am. Let me next express my wholehearted thanks to all the respected guides, teachers, research scholars, students of B.Ed and M.Ed, and all the well-wishers for your valuable presence, which makes this initiative a great one. Thank you so much for your participation. Next, let me thank our secretary, Soumya, and all the research scholars of our MTTC research wing, especially Vincy ma'am, Smriti ma'am, and Sindhu ma'am on behalf of everyone present here. Thank you so much. And also Mrs. Akansha Prajapati. Once again, thank you all. We will meet again next week with another great thought-provoking insight in depth. Stay safe. May God bless you all. Thank you so much. Over to you, Vincy ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Bandik sir, there's a request from Mr. Sonu to have a screenshot. He's asking us to open the camera for a screenshot. Can we have?
Yes.
Okay, sir. I request all the participants to turn on the camera, please.
ടീച്ചർ സുഖമായിരിക്കുന്നോ?
Can we move to the next segment, sir?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen.
Dear participants, link for e-certificate is posted in the chat box. Kindly say the link to fill the form. Program will get over after the national anthem being played. Kindly stay tuned with us for the national anthem.
पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उज्जल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thanks again for joining us today. See you next Monday.
Okay, thank you.
Issac സാറേ നമസ്കാരം. ഞാൻ ഇത്തിരി താമസിച്ചു പോയി കയറാൻ. നമ്മുടെ ഒരു ഓൾഡ് സ്റ്റുഡന്റ്, നമ്മുടെ തിയോസായുടെ ഒരു വളരെ ആക്റ്റീവായിട്ടൊരു മെമ്പർ, ഒരു രാജേഷ് ആണ്, മോഡേൺ സ്കൂളിലെ ടീച്ചറായിരുന്നു. ഇന്നലെ വൈകിട്ട് ഒരു അറ്റാക്ക് ഉണ്ടായി മരിച്ചു. 48 വയസ്സേ ഉള്ളായിരുന്നു. അപ്പൊ പുള്ളിയുടെ വീട് വരെ ഒന്ന് പോയി, അങ്ങനെ തിരിച്ചു വന്ന വഴിക്ക് കുറച്ച് താമസിച്ചു.
കുഴപ്പമില്ല സാർ. ഓക്കെ, താങ്ക് യു വെരി മച്ച് സാർ. ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു ഓപ്പർച്യൂണിറ്റി തന്നതിന് വളരെ സന്തോഷം.
താങ്ക് യു സാർ. ഐസക് സാറെ പ്രത്യേകം നന്ദി.
താങ്ക് യു ടീച്ചറെ. താങ്ക് യു.
വളരെ ഉപകാരമുള്ള ഒരു നല്ല എൻറിച്ചിങ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു സെഷൻ ആയിരുന്നു ഞങ്ങൾക്ക്. താങ്ക് യു വെരി മച്ച്.
Congratulations, Dr. Bindu and research scholars, Soumya, as a teacher, and all the participants. You have done it well. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
സാർ, ആ ലെസൺ പ്ലാനിന്റെ മോഡൽ ഒന്ന് ഷെയർ ചെയ്യുമല്ലോ സാർ?
ഞാൻ പറയാം മോളെ, സാറിനോട് പറയാം, പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് നമ്മുടെ ഗ്രൂപ്പിലിടാം. ഓക്കെ, സാർ അയച്ചു തരുന്നത് ഗ്രൂപ്പിൽ ഷെയർ ചെയ്യാം. എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു വെരി മച്ച് യൂസ്ഫുൾ ഫോർ വിൻസി ഓൾസോ. വിൻസി?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here.
Okay, Vincey.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Thank you all the participants.
Thank you, teacher.
Welcome, ma'am.
उसको रहने दो।